So we're going here, fellas. Little rule of thumb about the mic, Quake, you know it. Is it Audio Technica front? You can't no, it's the other way because it can't you got to speak into this part, not the top. Yeah, really? Yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay. And then there you go. All right, so we're going here. Dave, what's up, buddy? It was nice to run into you last night. Nice to meet you.
It was very. I'm doing it right. I'm into the mic.
No, you're into the mic. Yeah,
I'm into the mic.
I'm always strict about these mics. I'm sorry, Quake knows. They're good mics, but let's stop talking about the mics.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm saving up. I'm saving up to get some good mics. Okay, get off my ass here. So yeah, Dave, comedy is it's a passion of mine. I love funny people. I don't have big enough balls to get up on stage and do it, so anyone that's able to do that, I admire. When I saw your performance last night, I was talking to Quake, and he said that you two talked the night before, so we made the connection there. We have you here. I'm happy to talk to you. You live in New York, which is a city I've never been to. I'm very curious about New York and the comedy scene in that city. But let's start back to when you were younger and talk about maybe what made you want to get into being a stand-up comedian.
I think at one point I remember dissing my aunt in front of my mom. I don't know what the joke was. I don't even think it was a joke. And then my mom started to laugh. And I was like, oh, this is one is probably because I made her laugh. So I was like, oh, I made my mom laugh. And just seeing her smiling, I don't know if that was... and then apparently, because not that I don't want to do, I love doing it, but I was like, when you try to trace back, it wasn't like a thing where I read a self-help book and I was like, oh, what can I do with my life? It was like when I was like a kid, I just loved talk shows. I love Jay Leno and Letterman and love Soul Train. Me and my sister would watch Soul Train.
Okay.
A lot. I don't know why.
Soul Train. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Did you guys ever do the line
in the house? Yeah, to get
in the house.
Yeah, we would dance. We were into the MTV award, any type of award stuff. We were into it, and she would at weddings actually. I'd be jealous of it. She would do an impression of Urkel from Family Matters.
Yeah.
She'd put out a hat, and people would give her money, and I remember being mad petty and jealous of her. I was like, this could ruin our relationship because I wasn't getting any shots. So she was ill. But she didn't care as she grew up. And we would do fake. Me, her, and my cousin would do fake sitcom scenes.
In the living room?
In my grandmother's living room, and she'd come in and snap on us because we were just being loud. We would do impressions. We then we would record impressions. I remember the radio, and my uncle caught us. We played him the tape for the family, and he got mad because we did Michael Jackson impressions. And
why would he get mad? Why would he get mad?
We were making fun of Mike. I guess I don't know what we were doing, but it was probably not something kids should do. So it was, I think at that
grabbing the crotch.
Probably, or talking about it, and he was very, he didn't like it. But then I just grew, I guess then at age 14, I told my best friend at the time, I want to do stand-up comedy.
What kind of kid were you in the classroom?
Weird.
Really? You weren't a class clown?
No, I hate it. I hate it. I just thought class clowns were, you just...
Attention seekers?
Yeah, you just go,
I don't think class clowns are funny when they're older.
No,
when they get older, they're not funny.
It's an easy crowd.
True comedians are I feel like the quiet ones, the very calculated. You know what I mean?
And he was cooler. I wasn't. I wasn't by any means, and I would make fun of him in my head, and then I'd turn to a homie and I'd be like, I diss the class clown, and he laughed not privately, but lower. We both laughed quietly. But yeah, I didn't really. I wasn't a class clown by any means. It's very shy.
It's an easy crowd in the classroom. It's an easy to laugh. And you just piss off the teacher though.
Well, I wasn't very outspoken as well. I have a hard time doing public speaking.
Really? So how'd you get over that fear in order to become a
comedy? I guess is just different in a sense because it's I'm connected to you as an audience, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm in my own.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's so crazy because I literally hate I'm terrified to get up in front of people, and this is what I do for a living.
No, same. So you would get it. You get it 100%.
It's because the people, I feel like people that think like us, certain creative people or artists, a lot of artists are they are the introverts kind of way. That's what gives you your craft. I feel like you overthink things, and that's where your shit comes from. So it's kind of like a catch-22. It's hard to get up there. But
I hate when someone goes, "Do you want to do karaoke?"
Yeah,
I'm so nervous, man. Not because of the idea of karaoke,
but because it's unplanned, so you don't really kind of.
It's not my I went to college for marketing, and I had to do I had a sales presentation class, and I bombed it, man. I got 50% or something, 57. I was nervous, and I was trying to do comedy at the time, and I was just bad. Like I remember like not wanting to go to school.
No.
Like, I think I might have tried crying, like, to get out of it. I just couldn't. So I think, and then I would ask my mom about, you know, you get older, I go, yo, did you know I wanted to do comedy? And then she goes, we just thought you were funny. And then when you were a kid, because my dad took me to a lot of wrestling events in Detroit.
Like amateur wrestling or like WWE?
Like the whole I remember having like the Hogan film and stuff. I'm a big wrestling fan. Still am, but don't really get into it like I used to.
You ever see that shit where the guy's like, he's crying. He's talking to the wrestlers, and he's crying. He goes, "You guys sacrifice your bodies." He's like, "It's still real to me, damn it." You see that?
I don't
Of course, yeah, I saw it.
Funny, but he's
It's
like, "Calm down."
Yeah, he's like, "Calm down, man," and he's like losing. But I understand that sentiment.
He's addressing everyone who's calling it fake.
So great.
Man, wrestlers get so offended when you call that stuff fake because that's all they got. They need to hold on to that.
Well, it's like so I would just go and do imitations. I guess when the wrestlers would walk to the ring, that my mom was like, our kid, and I would do when the commercials were on. I would imitate the commercials in between TV shows.
Okay.
And then my cousin, I still remember, because when I got older, I was like, I know what you did, man. My cousin would bring girls even during the day or at night to his room. I know what he was doing in the room at the time, but he would call me in and he'd be like, "Hey man, can you do Macho Man, Randy Savage and Hogan to the girl?"
Trying to impress the girl.
I didn't know that. And then when I got older, he was using me. So when I was older, like 4 or 5 years ago,
Watch this.
dude, he was I didn't know that. I just was like, oh man, I get to shine. And then when we got older and I did stand up and he came to a show, I just go, yo man, I know what you did. Yeah. And we both started laughing.
Okay, it's funny you bring this up. I was watching a Michael Jackson documentary like 4 years ago. His older brothers did the same thing to Michael. They'd bring girls over back to the hotel and be like, "Hey, little Michael, sing for the girls."
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
Michael would sing for them, and then once he sang, they would fuck him.
going.
They would fuck the not Michael. He's too young, but they would fuck the brothers.
As my cousin was doing, man. Just out there getting pussy on Michael or Macho Man set, and I trained my voice, man. I trained for it. I was like, this is.
You still got the impression?
No. I was really about impressions back then.
So you started with impressions, and then you didn't even like that's kind of how you knew you were a funny guy, was impressions. Like,
I don't know. I would do I think in high school I'd make fun of Fran Dresser. Remember that sitcom's Laugh? I could do her laugh at the time. My boy loved it.
Who is that? Is it the?
Yeah. Remember that one? He just loved it. It's a sitcom. It was back.
I never saw it, but I feel like I know it through like rap references. Like,
oh yeah, and she's annoying. Her voice is like very yeah.
Maybe I know it through Family Guy. I feel like they clown her.
They do clown her. Yeah, they do actually. I've seen episodes where they clown her. It was a sitcom back then, but her voice was very like whiny. She had this laugh, like the
iconic voice.
Yeah, and it was a cackle laugh. So my boy Ryan in high school just loved it, and he'd be like, "Just can you do it?" And I would do it.
Yeah.
Do you know the show he's talking about?
I know it through like Family Guy making fun of it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It's like Hello. It's
I wouldn't have seen like the actual show.
Oh, okay.
It was like when I was super young, I think, and then in high school I don't know if it was on.
What would be your like shows of your time where like this is my favorite?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, like from my time?
Yeah, like you know what? Like growing up like this.
Oh, Home Improvement.
Yeah.
And also now with it's weird saying, not weird saying it, but Roseanne back then.
Didn't something happen with her?
Yeah, she
racist
says
or
some
something?
racist things now, but like back then, like it was dope because it was just a good show, man. She was very honest about it was a real family, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a cleaned up family version. It was like, very relatable and home.
Oh, the show you're talking about. Sorry,
back in the day.
Did you fuck with back then?
Oh yeah, Boys World, Different World. Wayne's Brothers.
Seinfeld.
No, that's the weird part. Like my mom didn't like Seinfeld. She didn't think he was funny, so I don't know if she'd get in my ear.
Man, I'm telling you, it's only white. It's only white people.
You don't think it's funny?
I black people too.
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I find, man, like whenever I talk to people talking about Seinfeld, like there's just a certain type of people that don't like it. It's just.
Dude, mine was. Ours was. Me and my sister loved Martin.
Oh, Martin.
Show, yeah.
Martin, yeah.
And they call that.
Lawrence used to have a show.
It was crazy, man. I saw somewhere on Twitter that's the black people's Seinfeld.
Really, I've never heard of Martin.
You know Martin Lawrence.
You know
Martin
Bad
Lawrence.
Boys,
He had this is like before my time too. I don't even like. I've seen the episodes later.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't in my time. But he had a sitcom.
Yeah, that was the Jump Off.
And it was just called Martin.
It was called Martin. He had Biggie on it. It was the Jump Off.
Just how Jerry Seinfeld's called Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The black people Seinfeld.
That's what
cool.
someone said. And if you watch it, he does characters. So he has Tracy Morgan used to play a character.
I love that.
He had Jerome in the house. So he put on a wig and remember Jerome?
That's from I feel like Kanye brought that back with that.
Yeah.
Jerome, whatever he said in that.
He goes,
Jerome,
Yeah, that's about that show.
He'll just enter a house and he'll be in their house and they'll be like, he goes, guess who's in the house? Jerome, he goes, I feel look at the white shoes.
Yeah. I feel like there's so much Martin made it in so many rap lyrics. Like
dude, back then it was like, I'm telling you, me and my sister, that in the Jamie Foxx show, like we were just into that.
That was my shit. Like I knew that.
Okay, yeah.
So was that after?
That was after.
That had to have been after.
That was after.
Because I know like, the Jamie Foxx show I remember, but like Martin was like before.
Way before me.
Like,
Like,
you're in Living Color, Jamie Foxx?
No, he had a show called the Jamie Foxx show.
Yeah. So he was on In Living Color, but then got his own sitcom. So they all had their own like
Fancy. I used to love Fancy.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys are talking a language I have no idea, man. I was strictly Seinfeld.
They owned a hotel or whatever. Like,
Oh, in the show.
Yeah.
It was back around when like the sitcoms like Family Matters, Growing Pains, all these sitcoms I think were super iconic. They might be like, if you watch them now, too jokey, but Home Improvement was great. Like whatever Tim Allen's his views are now and how he's, I was a kid, I enjoyed the show. And it was also, I think it was in Michigan. It was based in Michigan.
Okay.
And I grew up in Windsor, so it's just like,
so it felt
relatable. It felt like the texture of it was very, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
It made sense to me when I'd watch it.
Do you think the humor's changed? Like I feel like back then it was very like one-liner, like punchline.
Yeah.
And now it's like more, I feel like it's cooler to be like more dry.
Like storytelling almost.
I
like The Office, or you know what I mean? Like I feel like now it's more dry humor.
It is, yeah. There's
like a punchline, like
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more punchier back then, but I wasn't
slapstick.
really,
I think they call it slapstick.
I wasn't self-aware that much back then to know, like, but now it's like very like, now it's drawn out more. Like the shows are more, I guess, real conversation time, I guess, but also like you said, drier and just the you don't have to get a joke in every 2 seconds. Now it's like, it could be like, it's like Atlanta.
Yeah,
great show,
incredible,
great example.
It's you don't have to, like, I don't even know what it is at this point, if it's a comedy or a drama, but like
just keeps people guessing.
Yeah, you keep watching it in a manner, but back then you'd have to, like, the jokes were coming.
Then that's when you say it's kind of corny nowadays. Like when you look back at that shit, like
it is.
You
but
don't have to do that. Like
I enjoy it still. Like when I go, I'd watch the Wayans Brothers. Remember they had UPN.
Their show is funny too.
Me and my sister.
But like even when you get older, you're like, is this funny? Like I still liked him, but like
I like Marlon. Marlon's silly, and then the dad, John Witherspoon.
Oh man, he's
hilarious. So it's
he's all the Friday movies.
That guy, Friday. Okay, now that rings a bell.
Yeah.
These are
brothers, but barbecues taste so good. Slap your mouth. What did he say?
I don't know.
John Witherspoon is like a touring comedian.
Yo, he was the man.
He's like 70 or something. He's still out traveling.
I saw like a DJ Vlad interview with him the other day.
Those are the love.
Why are you on? Yeah, it's just so weird.
The questions he asked on those interviews on DJ Vlad, he's like, so last time you did syrup, how high were you? And the people would just answer like, man, I was seeing unicorns. And
he's a dry snitch, I feel.
Yeah, he's a rat every time.
He just gets people to rat.
He's like, so you shot.
He's like, so you caught a murder case. He's like, did you do it? Yeah, I did.
Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, we have to ask.
We're in the media.
Dude, they make fun of him so much that he's an informant.
Almost.
All these. I'm like, dude, don't ask that. Why are you doing that?
He'll talk to these younger rappers that have tattoos all over their face. They have the double cup going, and he'll just straight up ask, like, man, how high were you last night?
Yeah.
I'm still high right now.
It's so weird though. Those like that kind of rap guy makes me laugh because, again, they're kids. It's like their understanding of like, if you try to tell them something, they're just like automatically go to, you're a hater. It's like, I didn't even get the sentence out.
Yeah.
I could be coming from a good place, a caring place, but it's just like, oh, you a hater. It's just
did you see the J. Cole and Lil Pump, like the interview?
No, I didn't see the
I watched
interview.
5 minutes of it. I couldn't watch. I couldn't.
It's like I feel like it was like J. Cole is trying so hard to like make a connection and relate.
I noticed that at the beginning.
Like there's a block. Like he can't
Do you think it's drugs on Lil Pump's part? Because
it's the age gap.
Dude.
Man, Lil Pump just looked out of it. Like I couldn't even. I understood what he was saying, but he was so slow.
It's a different like. Man, I used to say this shit. I used to compare this shit to hip hop. Was like, imagine if you played baseball your whole life, and like you get to the point now where it's like, all right, I can get to the big leagues, but then all the rules change. Like a foul ball is a home run now. Like all
like
analogy. It's 2 strikes and you're out. So it's like you practice this whole thing your whole life, and then the entire game changes like
overnight.
Yeah.
Because it's like even
Lil Tay's winning.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
How do you talk to a guy that goes? He goes, let's go. Like how do you talk sense to a boy?
But he's 17.
That's what I'm saying. He's not gonna make any sense.
Lil Pump's 17.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
He's a very.
So it's like, man, like you gotta realize, like he's gonna grow up at some point. He's gonna realize.
So watch that interview is what you're saying. I should go back and watch it.
I mean, I don't know what it accomplished, but I thought that was a dope idea just to do it. Like, it's cool. Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about some of the times that you've bombed. Because that's always I don't even know if it's a dark place in your mind when you bomb. Because a lot of people say they learn from it. And when it happens the first time, it's just like, oh, okay, that's what that feels like. I can do that again. Is that what? Give me your process.
Like people still bomb, don't they? Like
many times.
Oh, yeah. So maybe tell me about, like, if you have, like, maybe a funny story about bombing, who was in the room. I don't know. Just anything.
Bombing back then, it hurt more when you were younger, I feel. And then now it's just like the older I get, I'm like even like life pains aren't as harsher as like if a girl leaves me, I'll probably be sad, but it's not as the end of the world. Like I'm crying.
I've been feeling that way too. It's
it's more. I'm now like more supportive. I'm like, oh, okay, bitch, you want to leave? I'm like, fine. That he could probably do better. Do better. I'm just like I'm not petty. I'm like, I know what happened here. Like I clearly know. I wasn't holding up for it. But the same thing with bombing. It's just like I bomb now. You're like, but the recovery back then it would be like 7 to 8 days, 10 days. I'd be depressed. I couldn't talk to anyone.
Oh, you see? Wow.
Yeah, and then now I'm just like, well, I don't. Now I'm like, wow, that was Tuesday I bombed, and then it's fine. The next day I'm not gonna like.
There's nothing you can do. It's not gonna help you to.
But the funny one, I still can't. It was like Thunder. So they flew me out to Thunder Bay to do this. It was like the Helsinki. I forgot what it was, like a show they did regularly, and the comedian who hosted and put it on passed away, so his wife took over, right?
Okay.
So it's like 3 shows, I believe, or 4 shows, sorry. And there's like 250 to 300 people in the room.
Okay.
And it's proper, and the first 2 nights are going well. First 2 nights go well. First 2 shows, sorry, on the Friday. Saturday early show, I'm just like doing what I normally do, but I like to improvise a lot and spontaneous stuff. So I pick a dude to like play with, right?
Yeah.
And then not being mean to him, but he's a French guy. He's from Quebec, but he's bombing as I'm doing this thing, and I'm bombing. So my riffs aren't working, his riffs aren't working. So we bomb for like 30 minutes together, like as a duo, and I have 45 minutes. And there's a lady earlier who was like very like hippie that might have said something about hugs or whatever, and I ignored it. So as me and this guy are bombing, this fat white dude is sitting at a table, and he out of nowhere, there's like 300 people here, he just starts losing. It's quiet, and he just goes, he goes, for the love of God, please tell a joke. For the love of God. And he kept saying that for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and nobody. I'm like, everyone's quiet, and he's almost crying. Like he's begging me to tell a joke, right? And then he quiets down everyone, and I go, and the lady. The hippie lady goes, oh man, you need a hug. And she gets up and she comes on stage to hug me, and I go, no, this is good. And I tell the audience, I had like 8 minutes left, I go, look, I get what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not her. I'm not gonna think low of myself and my talent.
Yeah.
What I am gonna do is tell this story to all my comedian friends. And then I do proceed to do 2 more minutes of no jokes. Guy's still sitting there. And then the audience after was just like very apologetic, like, oh, we're so sorry, right? And I'm in the back room, and the promoter lady, I feel someone grabbing me from behind, but she leans in and hugs me from behind, and she goes, you handled that so, like, it was like the most, it's like we both, like, our families got stuck in a flood.
I can
like
picture this lady in my head right now. She's probably wearing a flower dress.
I think so. Yeah,
I knew it.
And then it was like, it wasn't, and then it just, I bounced back, I think that was the early show.
Yeah.
But this had nothing to do with this story, but I still can't believe this happened. A friend of mine out there came to the show, we both drank. I didn't, I saw him drink like a couple of drinks, and then he goes, hey man, how are you gonna get back to the hotel? Like, I don't know, you still want me to drive you? I go, yeah. So he takes me, and he goes, dude, I'm hungry. He goes, we'll get Burger King or McDonald's. We go through the drive-thru. Next day I see him, I go, bro, man, how did that, he's like, what's wrong? I go, oh man, that Whopper. And he goes, what? I go, the Whopper. He goes, you had a Whopper? I go, yeah, so did you. And he goes, no, don't remember a thing.
He was driving?
He was driving.
Fuck.
Oh my God. Did not remember the time period, which I thought he was sober.
That's the worst.
That's the worst. That's Thunder Bay, though.
That's when you wake up in the morning, you're like, fuck my life.
Like the drunk drive, man. I've been in some cars where people are fucked up, and it's like, what?
In high school, I just remember, oh man, just so stupid. Life is so valuable, and back then you're just like,
yeah. But in all, I bounced back from that whole. But that's like that kind of a heckle. I think years ago I would have been really depressed, but I thought it was funny because the passion that the heckler had for me to tell a joke.
Yeah.
Speaking of alcohol, like, do you? Because I know for me, like I already told you, like I'm like I believe in my art and everything, but like I'm like a shy person on stage. Like I don't like to get up in front of people. Did you ever bring it like? Do you ever smoke to drink, or do you ever like have vices to make you comfortable to get on stage, or did you in the beginning? Or
in the beginning, not so much. The beginning, I would just go up, and then later on, I think I did it just. I never needed it to do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I needed it more or less after. Or like, you know what I mean? If I felt the high was going down from stage, I would just get on another high with whether it was booze or weed and pills. You know what I'm saying? There was like periods where I would do pills, and I think at one time I was doing like perks, and I thought it was funny on perks, so I would just do these perks.
And everything seems like it's
and I would record it and go home to my girl, and
then you watch it back. And
one night we're laying in bed, and she's like, she goes, sit still. I go, no, I did these perks, man. You got to see what I'm creating here. And we played it back, and it was the wackest.
Why? What do perks make you feel like? It's like an upper?
It's just like a painkiller.
Painkiller.
I don't.
I was doing like
just a so.
Yeah, so I wouldn't.
I got a very addictive personality, so I was fixated on that for a while. But I don't think I needed it on now. Look, now I've been to like Just for Laughs and places like that where I've been boosted and high.
Yeah,
I've done like TV tapings high.
Is there a fine line?
Love it.
Like, I feel like there's a fine line. Like there's a fine line where it's like if I'm a certain buzzed up, like I'm gonna kill the show. But if I go over this,
then you're done. I've been there, where it's like I'm not making any sense. I'm slurring and stuff. Like I've been there, like that. But I've also been where I've had like a buzz and I've done well.
Yeah.
You gotta like you can't go too overboard.
No, you gotta like just find that line. And I feel like it's so fun of a line. But
one time it backfired on me. I did mescaline. Was it mescaline? And like
what is that?
Another muscle relaxer.
A muscle relaxer.
I thought it was a festival.
And I was in Calgary going through like I wanted to break up with my girl, but I was like, I was too much of a pussy to do it. So I was just high and drunk all weekend playing this club, and I'm on the stage, and my boy's in the back and at the Laugh Shop in Calgary, and I come off, and he goes, you good, man?
Yeah.
And I go, what? And I'm just like flying in my head. I go, yeah. We ain't good. He goes, look, man, you're pacing. That wasn't your normal pacing. I go, what? Because I thought it was flying in my head.
You killed it.
Yeah. He goes, no, man, you're moving slower. I was up there. I thought I lit the place up. I was ready to go get more drunk. He goes, what are you on? I go, oh man, I'm on like a bunch of pills, man, and weed. And,
man, that's so funny. Like it would be so deceiving being up on stage and thinking that you're killing it when you're not. You're almost like in a mindset where it's just like you're not in real time. It's like an out of body experience.
Yeah. Well, the shit that taught me was always music videos. So like I'd always get super drunk because you don't feel any of the anxiety or stress. It numbs everything.
Yeah.
So you're so loose, but then you watch it back and you're too loose. So like and then I start doing it sober, and I'm like, I would feel like, oh man, this looks terrible. I bet, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would feel all the anxiety, but like then you watch it back, it's like it looks good. So then you start to realize like that anxiety or that like nervousness is human. Like you need that to be normal.
To connect to other people.
Yeah, you need that to be normal. Like you can't just kill every feeling inside and then like fucking flail around. You feel amazing. You look like a fucking junkie. Like
you do. I did.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool how it relates to both of your fields.
Yeah,
that same feeling of being in front of people.
It's just now I'd rather be sober to do it.
Really?
Yeah, but
You'll have a drink though, getting up there. No.
Oh, I had a drink yesterday too, so it's not like. It's not like I'm against it, but it's just to get really fucked up and do it. I don't need that. That nerve doesn't really,
Do you have like if something bad happens to you, do you have a personality where it's like you hold on to it for the rest of the act, or are you like you're like, all right, this fucked up, fuck it, I'm moving on?
Before something would happen, I would lose my cool up there. I've done that many times. Something recently happened where I was like, I couldn't. I was in Kingston, Ontario, performing, and my set wasn't going well for the first 20 minutes. What had happened is as the comic was bringing me up, a buddy of mine, I'm sitting next to this dude waiting to go on, and he goes, "Hey, go up. When you go up, somebody's car got towed. Can you mention it?"
I also fucked you up, threw you right off.
I was like, what? Like I was just like, well, respect on me, right? I was like, I ain't no fucking,
Someone's car.
Yeah, and then the owner of the bar went up to my boy as he's doing a long intro, a sentimental one, and she's waving a paper like this, man, and he's like,
license plate number.
Well, he thought it was someone died, like his family. He has a family, so he's like, what? And then she's like, read this. And he goes, okay, and then he opens it and he goes, someone's car got towed. And then he brings me up, and then I go up to try to riff. It bombs. Now I'm bombing for 20 minutes, right? And then my boy killed my two buddies who went on before me, destroyed the place. So I'm bombing. So and this front row dude, this older white guy, is just like, won't shut up. And then I think at one point I get a laugh, and then I turn around and he goes out loud. He goes, hey man, at what age did you start to learn how to detonate bombs?
Oh fuck!
And then I'm like, and you know, one of those things where you're like,
it's not even that clever, but it's just like offensive.
It's very offensive. And then and the room slowed down. Let's say that in my head, the room, it just started to slow down, and I think like blood got in my eyes, like I was and I'm not even a violent person, but I was literally like, dude, just jump off the stage and just start choking.
You're just talking to yourself
out of this guy, like, you know what I mean? But that would like sabotage everything. That moment like would make the whole night change. So I go, you know, man, I respect you now, because at least you didn't say that shit behind my back. You said that shit to my face. There's some people in this room who would say it behind my back.
Yeah.
And then a lady in the back goes, come on, man, we paid money, just restart the show. I didn't know she was saying it in a positive manner. I took it wrong. I was like, restart the show. And then something just clicked where I go, you know what, man, put whatever feelings you have aside right now, your anger, your hate, your disappointment.
It's hard to do though.
Throw it to the side and then just deliver your act. So
it is
very hard,
especially if you're drunk too. It's hard to put it aside.
When I did the last 20 went really, really well, and then I came off. My two boys who were on the show didn't hear that guy say that.
They probably would have jumped him.
Yeah, because the guy who organized it, he's like, where is he? I go, no, chill. He's just going to go. And I just got off very angry, but also confused, because I told the people after, I go, man, why? It's very sad that you would say that.
If you don't,
it's just like a sad thing to say to someone.
Where was the show at when that happened? What part of the world?
In Kingston, Ontario.
Oh, it was in Kingston. Okay.
And I've been to Kingston for over 10 years. Like, it's not like
you have like a base, like you.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. I've hung out there. I've partied there. I've done drugs there. I've done multiple shows there.
Yeah.
It was just weird and disappointing. All the audience came up to me after, and they were just like, we're very disappointed in our city, and we're really sorry. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean, this thing where it's like the whole town was like waving like racism at me. They were just like, yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot. Yeah. We're all very disappointed and very sorry.
Did it make the news or anything?
No, we kind of like kept it. No one recorded, and then I just was like, let's just drop it. I don't want to. My thing is like, man, you light that fire. You know what I mean? If I deaded it right away, then it's good, I feel. Yeah. You keep talking about it.
Marinates.
And even just out into the world, you're actually helping, I think, that racist out by airing his stuff out constantly and throwing it around, because if it just dead it, and I deaded it, I didn't really like, I was like, whatever happened.
Wow, I'm going to be honest. I just caught the racist aspect. Bomb detonated. I thought you were mean like you're bombing.
Oh my God!
Now I'm just real. Wow, I'm slow. So I'm realizing it was a racist comment.
Long night last night.
Yeah.
Wow,
long night.
Well, I didn't explain it. That was my bad too. I didn't explain it.
I just got that. I thought he meant like you're bombing the show.
I thought that after, but then as soon as he kept going with the story and he said it offensive, I was just like, oh, that's what he meant.
Wow, I just got that.
I said I was Lebanese.
I'm slow.
No, it's all. And then the whole audience is like, oh man, that's weird. But it's just like, that's why I try to explain. Look, I don't get racial slurs thrown at me like a lot, like more than other people probably get it way more. But it's just like the thing where it throws you off with like racial slurs is like it's like you feel helpless. It's like, man, I didn't do any of this. So then it's that anger is like, it's not like you did something and got punished for it. It's just like now you're just pulling up on me and saying wild things that I have no control over. Yeah. And now you leave and I have to deal with that. So now you've given me misplaced anger. Which is the worst thing you can give me. And then now I have to deal with that for days and for the rest of my life, into something that it's
like someone else renting space in your head for free.
Great way to put it.
They're squatting there. They're just there now.
And it's like that's my only thing with it. And then it's weird because we did shows in Wolf Island the day after.
Where's that?
That's like outside of Kingston, like a small ass, like it's on an island. And then the night before in Battersea, and that town like is like 200 people. And it was all older white people, and they were the best, dude.
Cool.
They were just like there was one point where this guy just wouldn't shut up, and I don't know why I did. It's not even. I just went to him. I go, man, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna fuck you. And I just kept saying how I'm gonna fuck this old white man.
Pat Stay would say. I feel like.
I talked about fucking this guy for 15 minutes. I was like, I'll take you in the patio. We'll fuck while the sun comes up. And he looked rough. Like he looked like a redneck. He was just dying. He was just like looking at me, and I'm like, I'll play with your balls, bro. I was like in front, like the lights were on. Everyone's like, what is it? These are like all old retired people, like who went there to have a good life.
It sounds like you know what you're doing when it comes to the heckler game, man. Like when people get at you, the response you said with the guy with the bomb drop, and he's like, at least I respect you. You can do it in front of my face. I would not have thought of that. I just probably would have jumped in the crowd and beat the shit out of him.
Well, it's over
the composure.
Well, over the years, I've had people try to fight me. I've had like one kid, like it was like an open mic in Toronto, and he passed by, and he was going to the bathroom, and he was, what, bitch? And he was like, where? I was like, what? He goes, what'd you say? I go, what are you doing? I'm like, you're wearing Foot Locker shorts. It's 9 p.m. And then he just came at me. Like he started running at me. Yeah. And luckily, who was also performing is John Avery, he was a running back for the Argonauts, but also he played on the Miami Dolphins. Okay. So he beelines and stops the guy. So the guy's coming up to me, and he just went right in between us. He goes, what? And this is like a scrawny looking white kid to this giant black guy who plays in the NFL and the CFL. And the kid goes, yo, I ain't got no beef with you. And that's how you know a dude's a bitch, when they revert, like when they start begging after. He's like, hey man, no, my issue with the guy that I think I could beat. Right?
Yeah. So would you say that that's like a theme throughout the comedic world? I feel like it's more so than hip hop that everyone it seems like a family and has each other's backs, and it's a sense of community. Like I feel like there's less jealousy in the comedy world. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, there's a lot of jealousy.
I feel like the hip hop world sometimes is like crab in a bucket. Like you do pull anyone down, climb over. Like is it like that, or would you say like there's a sense of like brotherhood, or
we're help each other with jokes?
Yeah. I think in hip hop and rap, it's like it's a battle thing too. It's a competitive thing. It's like a swagged out thing. It has that demeanor. But comedy, it's weird if you were like we joke about it. If I'm like, yo man, this is the crew and we better than you, it's just weird. It's just, but there is underneath, there's a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate, a lot of like people mad that
more hidden.
It's hidden, but there's like love, but there's some petty ass, jealous ass. You know what? I've been jealous. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wasn't.
You know what I always think sometimes too is like, how come in stand-up comedy, the field, there can be so many, like a wide variety of people to be successful? Like it could be like an old fat white man, or a Lebanese guy, or Kevin Hart, a black guy, or like, it could be any walk of life. Amy Schumer, a white blonde. And it's like such a wide variety of people can be successful in this field. But like, I feel like for rap, it's like, oh, if he's not like the man, or he's on fucking, he can't, oh, we don't want to listen to him. Like,
yeah, there's
so
a much more.
Why is that? Like, do you think, like, it's weird?
I think with just comedy, it's like, oh, like everybody naturally has been around humor since they were a child, and it's not really like a thing where, like, where it originated from. Like, like where rap originated from, New York. I'm not gonna sound like a social worker, like in the inner streets,
inner cities,
like some guy on like like a white guy doesn't know what's happening. So I think that kind of has a lot to do with it. Comedy, like, you know, you could be, it doesn't matter. It's just humor is humor. But also,
that's the thing. Like, it's anyone could do it.
Yeah. But that's what makes it also annoying when people are like, because anyone. That's where I think hecklers get that courage, is because everybody has somebody funny in their group. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, Tom is funny. Right, but that's why you're not heckling someone who plays the flute. You don't know anyone.
Yeah,
you're like, well, I don't know.
This is a rare thing. I'm not going to chirp him.
Yeah, but comedy, you're like, we work at the firehouse. Everyone's funny, so then you feel that arrogance, and that's why I think with comedy, it's like a less respected art form.
Interesting.
People will bully you. They don't even care. They're like, you do comedy this all the time. I go, yeah, man. I flew to Halifax.
Yeah. You think someone said that to you here?
Multiple times.
Oh, at the church over there?
Always. Yeah, they're like, do you do a living?
Like, this is what you do, like what, like in a like disrespectful way?
No, just like they're trying not to be mean, but they're just like, I think it's just a lack of knowledge. They're like, so do you do this full time? And then you're like,
weekend gig?
Yeah, because I think in comedy, it's like you know, if it's not like Kevin Hart or Dane Cook or Steve Harvey, like there's a lot of comedians making a living that may not be on TV.
Oh, of course,
like there's a guy, Sebastian Maniscalco,
one of my favorite comedians. Man, his bit.
I've seen him.
That guy. Have you ever met?
This is amazing.
Yeah, see, but
his swagger and everything, bro. He's the man.
His episode on Comedians in Cars with Jerry Seinfeld, I think, was the best episode of the entire fucking show.
There we go. See, I love that because
he has great dad stories about his crazy dad.
He's amazing. He's a dude. I watch him by myself in my room, like dying, like giggling till like 4 a.m. But it's like he's not on TV, right? Yeah. So then like sometimes like so I think the general public like they just don't. They're not researching. Not that you guys may have not researched, but I mean,
like making a good living, like doing this shit, like
dude, millions. Not even just a good living. Like he was on top 10 comics last year.
Man, even Sebastian,
he's or something like that. It's crazy.
That's even a guy who's up there. Like, I'm not saying he's on the Kevin Hart level, but he's up there. Yeah. There's, you know, Tom out in. I got a buddy out in. He actually used to be on the podcast. Tom, he used to work at Scotiabank as a teller, and he said there would be a comedian that would come in every single day, and he would cash in like $300 checks every single day throughout the week because he'd be performing the night before. Like $300 every single night. Yeah. It adds up. You can make a living off that.
Oh like you do. That's the thing. You do make a living. It's just that if you're not on like movie, like it's just not.
People are just like, oh yeah. Like, okay, like even in rap, this is a thing. Like Tech Nine. Do you know Tech Nine?
Of course.
He's like one of the most like successful like fucking independent artists.
It's
like
insane.
Rich as fuck. But it's like you go ask. I don't know, my girlfriend or something. You know Tech Nine? No.
Do you? Yeah, dude. I know. We like it,
but it's like, you know what I mean. But he's doing it. Like
they're doing it on a gigantic scale, not just doing it. It's like it's insane, and that's what it's just like the lack of information. So with comedy, it's even worse because it's just not maybe as a popular genre as much. So it's like people are just look at it as like, oh, is that a hobby or how do you make a living or are you like they just don't get it, which is fine. I don't
exactly.
care.
Who cares? It's like
I don't care anymore. It's like
do you think Netflix is helping comedy?
Huge, it's helping. Yeah.
In what sense? How's it helping?
Just because putting more stand-up.
Yeah, like
because they wouldn't be exposed to some of these comics that are like, because some of them don't like. Ali Wong wasn't on TV. Ali Wong put her Netflix special out and popped off there.
Okay,
like, do you know what I mean?
So it's a less Hollywood system, and it's more.
Yeah, it's like you're not in like you know you're not in like you don't have to be in 15 movies or a sitcom.
No. What's the example? I feel like this guy's super respected. His name's like Mark
Maron. Yeah.
I feel like he's like the definition of like. I don't know much about
his podcast blew him up.
Yeah.
And now he's in like that.
I feel like he's
Glow,
just the definition of like a technical he's guy. Like he's not a flashy superstar.
No.
He sits down like
those guys now. You don't have to be like you don't have to be necessarily like Eddie Murphy rock star. Like when he came out, Eddie was like a rapper. Like you were like, whoa, this is like now you could be a schlubbish fucking guy who has stains on his shirt and people are like Louis C.K. was like didn't like dress flashy. No. And he probably, you know what, and
best part of the job. If you don't have to dress up, you don't have to wear a suit.
This I saw Kevin Hart say, which is like super. I loved it when he said it. He goes, people look at Kendrick and J. Cole, and they're like, they're doing it. They're doing arenas, but you may not know that because they just don't promote themselves that way. He goes, he's talking about himself, have to and want to do that. That's how I do it. I'm out there. I'm always promoting.
You want to have the fireworks. And
or just even promoting on social media. And he goes, J. Cole and Kendrick, bro, you wouldn't, like, they do arenas, but they're not telling, like, Kendrick's not like, yo, 6 arenas, what y'all saying? Like, he's just like, you don't even know. I think
I find Kevin does it in a funny way. Like, it's almost he's grateful.
Yeah, he's admitting to it. Like, it's like where you have Drake, it's like flashy, and then you have like Kendrick and J. Cole. They don't, like, it just seems like they don't give a fuck about what they're doing.
I love J. Cole's what he's done with his personality the past 2 years. He
switched
change. It's an incredible thing. It's just
fucking a black t-shirt.
It's amazing.
It's such a good message to the youth coming up who think that you need these chains, these cars, these homes, these fancy
Forest Hill Drive,
things.
man,
it's a great thing.
Still one of the best albums, I thought. Forest Hill Drive.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, but you don't. So I think some of these comedians, like, when you don't, like, when you're not researching or you're not self-aware, which is nothing against you. It's just like, what are you gonna do? You got your life. You have millions of things coming at you. So there's a lot of comedians, even in Canada, that are doing well and are super successful.
Of course.
Like,
It's
like the guy cashing the checks at the bank.
The $300.
He's killing it.
I mean, he's absolutely. He doesn't have
300 times 7. What's that?
Fucking no. Success, like, the more I get older, success to me is not having someone to answer to. I don't care how much money I make, as long as I don't have to answer to someone.
Oh,
that's
yeah, it's
success
beautiful, dude.
That's the best time in the world for that. Like,
absolutely. Everyone's independent.
Like, we have the internet. We can sell, if it's our service, our product. We don't have to have a boss. We could package something, whether it's an act, whether it's a fucking product, and you can sell that shit on the internet or promote it, and you're good. Like,
and just go. Persistence.
You don't have to answer to no one, bro.
Exactly.
I might start growing my own vegetables and eating my own. Like, you don't have.
Man, you don't need to. Exactly.
You don't.
There's so much information out there. Anyone can live independently.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to sacrifice to not. You have to tear down your life a little bit.
Yeah. You have to eat shit and then.
I want to talk about the Big Apple.
Oh yeah.
I got nervous when I fucking said that. I thought the Big Apple was like California for a second. The Big Apple.
What's in the Big?
What does he say on Dumb and Dumber or Aspen, California? Anyways. So let's talk about like your life in New York. I've never been. You've been. Quake's been. But I love the stories about these comedy clubs in New York, and like legends will show up at 1 a.m. and perform for like 30 minutes. Has anything happened like that before? Like,
I've seen Seinfeld at Gotham Comedy Club. He came.
Dude, that's incredible.
Dave Attell was there. A lot of the people from The Daily Show are performing.
There's working material.
Yeah, I know Ronnie. Ronnie Chang's on The Daily Show. I've known Ronnie from like Australia, but like I've gotten a chance. I've opened for him in the city.
Cool.
He's super helpful guy. Mike Costa. He's also on The Daily Show. He's super funny.
That's cool. They perform SNL out in New York, right?
Yeah. So Pete Davidson would I've seen him. Yeah, he's come.
That's the guy who loves weed, right? Pete?
Is that the guy whose dad died in the Twin Towers?
Yeah.
So, his dad died in the Twin Towers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he dates Larry David's daughter.
He used to. He's dating Ariana Grande now.
Get the fuck out.
And he got tattoos of her.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I only think that's crazy because it's dedication.
I might get one of her.
Yeah. I thought about the first. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But then I go, you know what? To be honest with you, if I dated Alicia Keys, for sure, I'll
that's your one. Alicia Keys, my top. Top.
I always get mad when people talk about Beyonce. I go, no, the real queen is.
That's everyone. I was just in Atlanta. Everyone's like, they're like, oh, Beyonce. I'm like, okay, I can't tell. She's a great performer. I'm like, Alicia Keys
is the best.
And they're like, no,
I love Alicia Keys, dude. Dude, her album. I have her album.
I would marry the fuck out of Alicia Keys.
Dude, the Unthinkable.
She's married to Swizz Beatz, right?
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
But you'll see people come in like all the time. It's a very like heavy comedy. Obviously, city. There's so many clubs, so many stages. You could perform like 3-4 times a night.
Man, those are the best settings. That way. I don't want to see a comedian in a 20,000 seat arena. I want to see a guy with 30 people in the room.
Me too.
It's the best.
I think it's too much.
Yeah, I love
Way
that.
too much. And it's harder for the artist, I feel, to connect to 20,000 people rather than
like a football stadium. It's
Did you go to Kevin Hart when he came here?
I did. Yeah.
Was he good?
I had an alright seat. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's dope. I love Kevin Hart.
Where was it?
Yeah,
at?
he's good.
the
Metro Center.
Scotiabank Center.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. I saw it.
He just came I was away, but he came like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I seen him the first time when he.
Okay.
Different jokes, I'm assuming.
Did you know Jerry D did in Windsor half a hockey? He did a hockey arena in my hometown.
How many people?
Oh man, I thought I was gonna faint.
I went to Jerry D. He did the same, but he cuts like the arena in half.
I think it was it was like I've never been in it was the new hockey arena for the Spitfires. I just got there and I was like
the junior team Windsor Spitfires. Yeah.
I was so nervous. My sister was at the house. Like this was like last 2 Christmases ago. She's like, "Tell us about the show," and I was shook. I was sweating.
Yeah.
So I turned on my family. She's like, "Just why don't you want us to come?" I go, "Just let me alone."
You were opening up.
Yeah, I snapped at my family. I go, "I don't know all the info. I didn't get the email, but I did."
Isn't it the worst though? Like, isn't it the worst? Like you're like tripping out.
Yeah.
There's like a show coming up, and then there's 100 texts like, "What time are you on?
Yeah.
How much are tickets?
Fuck that.
All your family.
Do you get that too all the time?
And you're like
sure.
trying to like focus. You're like, fuck, I don't even know if I know the words right now. Trying to,
Dude, it was a hockey arena, and there's I had to go up. His manager introed me from the back, and it was insane. Like you said, it's not as intimate. It's insane. I'm just looking out, all these people, and you're like, holy shit. And then the pacing of your jokes might have to change. It's just like,
man, I'd be fucking nervous.
I don't perform in our hockey arenas, so I was just like, it was a great experience, but I just remember it being
like, to like look people in the face and like,
the intimate. You have to like connect, like your pacing has to like be, because like when the laughs hit, it's like a big space, so you gotta wait a bit. You can't keep going.
Can't be too and if you're probably nervous, you're probably anxious. Like, let me. Keep going.
And I ramble fast anyway, so that's not a good thing for me because I don't wait. Like there's I always wanted to not blur the line, but like the punch, it's like you gotta. It's not like a bump, like a bump. So
that's why they always say like in comedy, like timing is very key. Like. Right, like it's timing. Like timing's everything. Like
it's all, and I was influenced by rap like since I started like big time because I did the like battle rappers, and I'm always watch battle rap because the way they rap and deliver is how I think I've modeled.
He's a perfect example of that.
How I modeled my comedy.
Tell me is like all right, like you're gonna say something and then like they're gonna react. He'll plan like he's like, I know they're gonna go crazy for this, so I gotta wait. But then it's like he says there's sometimes a joke you might say that you don't think is gonna go crazy and they all go crazy, and then you're like, oh shit, you're thrown off. So you kind of gotta roll.
But
with
their
it.
cadence, I kind of modeled my stand up after the cadence of like it goes is how I just took all my cadence in comedy from.
Has that ever been what you like? I'm sure you plan like you're like, all right, this is the heavy hitter. Like I know they're all gonna laugh after this one, and then it's like, but then you'll say like one of the in between ones. It might even be like spontaneous off the top.
Oh yeah, it just happened.
They go crazy like for some shit you never even predicted.
It happened Tuesday. I was doing this. I put out a comedy special, so we did like a release party for it in Toronto.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, at the Drake. So my boy's hosting
Drake Hotel.
Drake Hotel, right
nice,
in the bottom part, and I was telling them a story. The audience was the last joke about how this woman I knew, this lesbian woman. I met her the second day I met her. She goes, I want to put a strap on and fuck you.
I love it.
So I'm telling the story about how like
what a compliment.
Yeah, it was crazy. I told her
there's no better.
No, and I could see from the stage my boy, the host, he's on his phone, right? Because he's watched me 1,000 times, and I go. The reason I didn't want to do it, there's multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is when she's fucking me from behind. I never thought like when I'm fucking a woman how lonely it is up there.
Oh, you're not looking at anything, or
you're just lonely up there. So
you're lonely.
That emotion is crazy. Like someone's fucking you from behind. You're like, I don't like. Where am I? There's nothing to hold on to. You're just lonely. So when I said that, I didn't expect that I was gonna get like I just said it there, and the place. Like my boy got off his phone and was slapping. Like it just
that was the that came to your head.
Yeah,
like,
just lonely in my head, and then it just erupt like the place. Like I was like, oh, there's no other laugh I'm gonna get for the rest of the night. anything.
And that feeling is better than any amount of money, isn't it? Just getting that laugh.
Better amount of money or drugs. And I've been on high on ecstasy and amphetamine.
And just getting that laugh. That's all you need.
I chased that ecstasy high for a while. Yeah, there's nothing now.
From back in the day, like, that was so fun.
The real shit when they give you like, they tell you back then they're like, did you try green CU yet? You're like, what? They're like,
it's all these pills. It's like Bart Simpson's. It's like, and now it's like, oh, it's pure. It's Molly now.
It's back then they would charge you $50, bro. You got to do the Pikachu. You're like, oh,
fuck, that's scary to say. Like, that was like 20 years old. That's like 9 years ago for me. Like, fuck, I was having fun, man.
I loved it. So I learned how to do light shows. I started training in my living room. You know, with the glow sticks.
Oh yeah.
That's how bad I was into ecstasy. My mom, I think, called me. She goes, "What are you doing,
bro?" The music sounds so good on it. Like oh man, it's crazy. Like I used to like everyone sees it. They used to see it as like a party drug. Like you take it in the club and then like you would go and dance. Like I used to take it in the club as soon as it hit. I would go outside, like flag a cab, go home and listen to like Jay-Z, The Blueprint, and just be like,
oh, that's amazing.
You know what I mean?
I didn't do that.
I always used it for like bro, like you can hear like if you hear like this Jay-Z song Beach Chair. I remember one time I heard it on ecstasy. It's like I could hear like wind in the background of the beat. Like it's like you hear like every sound, like you can hear the pin drop. You just get like goosebumps. And when you, especially, I liked it from my own music. Like I don't know if you ever watched your own comedy on drugs. Like I used to listen to my music and be like, I'm the greatest. Your jaw just going. Like,
I'm the greatest.
I gotta do that. Yeah. I listen to DJ TS though.
And you wake up the next morning, you're depressed. You're like, I'm the worst.
Dude, I never forget. There's this album, I can't find it, In Search of Sunrise 2.
Okay.
And that brings like memories, like on high on it.
Yeah.
Like just if I would hear it even sober, I just would stop, zone out, and like start twitching because it was just like we listened to that. Yeah, again, like in the car, we'd pop the pill and we'd listen in the car and shit.
I remember like hearing my shit for the first time on like big speakers, like high. Like I did like ecstasy and we were at the Evolve Festival and like DJ Ivy was like, a Classified was playing, and like DJ Ivy was like playing his songs before he came on, and he like played one of my songs. It's on like the big system, and I just went over and I'm just like, listen, I'm like, I'm the greatest of all time. Like, it just felt like, yo, hearing it like that, like it's actually nuts. Like I can't even fucking explain the feeling like when you hear music on that. Like,
but that's your guy. Like that's your like you've collaborated and like that's your guy. Okay.
Yeah, but they just played my song like to warm it up, and that's amazing. Never heard my own shit like through a big thing, and I'm on ecstasy, and I'm like, this is fucking. I was like, like it literally, man, it's life changing. That's the only reason I did it. I didn't want to do it to even party, nothing. Like I only used to do it to just hear the music. Like
that's hear the music. No, I hear you. You do like wow. It's a shame I didn't listen to rap when I was on it. It was all I was gone into trance. Yeah, but I don't listen to even trance after that or now. I just at the time I was like, I thought the shit was nuts. Dude. The patterns and everything. I go, oh man, one of these dudes are like tripping out and dying and shit. Like Drew, like
you start hearing the flow patterns and
it's
shit.
Insane. And you're like, oh, especially like trance or electronic DJs. No wonder when you hear them like overdosing, you're like,
it's saw that coming.
It's just like I would take, like, as a guy who doesn't even make music, I'm like, yeah, man, give me more pills so I can listen to this. So I can only imagine you creating and you doing it, and you're like, I don't know, it may help them. I don't know. It's just insane.
I remember Tupac said one time, and like, I don't think this is ecstasy, but he said, he's like, he goes, I get fucked up and then make my music because I know everyone listening to it is getting fucked up. So it's like, he's like, I want to be in the same shit, on the same mind state, creating it as the people who are going to listen to it.
Well, his was weed, right?
It's like drinking and smoking. He's like, I'm drinking and smoking to make my music because I know everyone that's listening to my music is drinking and smoking.
And he did it at a pace that's like, oh man.
This guy's like writing rhymes on the bathroom toilet, like I don't know how. Yo, man, that's so crazy. I don't know how they do that.
Man, you guys are both storytellers. Like both of you describing being on ecstasy. Like both of you, even though, you're in a different genre of an art form, but both of you just described that like I did ecstasy yesterday.
Bro, let me tell you this. This the best ecstasy story. It's the first time I ever did it. I don't know who was watching it. I don't give a shit.
It's just my mom.
Yeah, I told my mom back in the day that because I was on Bell TV and they did an interview and I was real fucked up, and she said, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I'll do this sometimes. Yeah, whatever. I came clean. But like the first ecstasy story ever in my life.
Okay.
We're at the bottom of Fairview, like Evans Avenue. I don't know if you know Evans Avenue. It's like hood area. Like,
okay.
It's just like, I don't know, it's like public housing, like buildings, whatever. Okay. So like I went there for a party at a friend's house, and I remember, and we were just drinking, and then they had the Tupac. This was like in the day of like Discman. I was like 19. Like I had my Discman with me, and I remember in the party they were playing Tupac. What was that album? What was that album? It was like Ballad of a Dead Soldier. Was it like Until the End of Time? That was the album.
Oh,
so they were playing like this Tupac. So like they're like, yeah. One of my friends like, yeah, here, take this pill. Like, see what it feels like.
Okay.
I'm like, all right. So I take it. I'm waiting. I'm like tripping out. I'm like, all right, this is the first time. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, as soon as it hits, bro, I was just like, oh my God. I kept playing this song. I played the song Ballad of a Dead Soldier by Tupac. Go listen to it. I played it like 4 times in a row. Then I was like, fuck it. I don't want to be at this party anymore. I opened the CD player and I put the CD in my Discman and I walked up to Fairview Junior High. It's real like reminiscent. I walked up to like my junior high school and sat in the middle of like the basketball court and like started thinking of all memories. I'm playing like
by yourself.
By myself. I hit play Ballad of a Dead Soldier again. It plays and I look up to the sky and then it instantly starts pouring on me and I'm just and the rain.
Oh my God!
Hitting me. Tupac's like, you know what I mean? Tupac's like, you know what I mean?
He's coming. That was him.
Tupac's going off like in my head. And I'm like, I'm just like, this is my first time, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
That's incredible.
That's a beautiful. It's a beautiful story on like
you gotta rap about that.
Yeah, man. I try to do it, but I like.
So you did it right.
It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe that story. Like
you did
describe
right.
it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You did it in a more you did ecstasy in a loving way where people will hear the story and go, "That's beautiful, man." Why are we against drugs?
Yeah, that's a whole. That's.
I feel on that story. That's. I wish mine was more rough. I wish I was somewhere with a rain.
I wish mine was. That's
the ones where the dude was like, he's a busboy in this after hours club, and we knew him. And I go to him. I go, hey man, I just need a pill. He goes, I can't sell you one. I was like, what? He's like, I'll sell you 8. And I was so stupid. And I go, I can't. I don't want to do 8. I'm going to die. I'm already on 1. He goes, man, you ain't got to do all 8. You got to sell. And I go, I'm not even a drug dealer. I go, yeah? He goes, yeah, it's not that hard. I go, yeah. He goes, just get 8 people in this room right now.
It's a sales pitch.
It's a great sales pitch. It's not that hard. So I go start talking to everybody, and it's working. I go, hey, man, I got a pill. And they're like, yeah, I get it. So I mapped out everyone in this room, the red room. I go, okay, I know everyone where they're at. I'm going to go in the bathroom, do the thing. I didn't know the bouncer was following me.
Oh.
So when I walk out of the bathroom,
so you became a quick drug dealer.
Yeah, fast. This guy grabbed me. I got rid of everything. And this guy grabbed me from the back of my neck and lifted me. And then he goes, you're coming with me. And then he lifted me the whole way. I go, bro, man, put me down, dog. I'm not going to, yeah. I go, I'm not going to run away. You got me, man. Now you're embarrassing me, right? Throws me in the back room and he starts, he goes, where are the fucking drugs, man? Where's the money? I go, I ain't got anything. He goes, I know you fucking got it. And he starts unbuttoning my pants. And I go, oh, this is weird. And he starts pulling them down and he pushes me against the wall and he goes, well, fucking Tony's going to deal with you. And I go, who the fuck? And I thought, and so this dude busts the door open, this big brown guy, and he goes, where is he? And then they're pointing at me. I thought this dude, I know it sounds, I was already high.
I thought he was going to get raped.
No, I thought he was going to suck my dick.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I was
When he was
thinking.
walking over, I started to like pattern my body. I was like, if he's gonna suck my dick,
you're like, man, I didn't even shower today. Like,
it's a wrap.
He's a good host. You ever see what Dave Chappelle said that shit about Michael Jackson? He's like, all these kids complaining about rape. He's like, He brought you to his house. He fed you. He took you on a roller coaster in the amusement park, and then by the end he sucked your dick. He's like, to me, that's a good house.
Dude, I thought he was literally, and then he punched me in the face. My glasses flew off. Then he hit me again, and then he goes, he doesn't have anything. And then the other bouncers helped me find my glasses, which is even more depressing. Put them on. They throw me out into the party. The party just started to pick up. I'm just dejected. I'm just feeling
What
weird.
city is this?
This is Windsor.
Windsor.
Shit goes down in Windsor, man.
And then the bouncer guy, guy I knew was Polish dude, comes up. He goes, wow. He goes, man. And I go, yeah, man, what the fuck? He goes, no. He goes, great. I go, what? He goes, you were great. My boss really enjoyed what you did. He goes, what are you doing next weekend? I go, huh? He goes, come back and sell for us. Oh. I go, dude, your boss just punched me twice. It's like
what was the
they tried to.
What was the mishap?
They were trying to set me up, I guess. They were trying to, like, for some odd reason.
Also, the guy that sold you the axe could have been like a cop or something?
No, they were apparently they were like in the club. It was a slow night.
Yeah.
So trying to get people going. Okay.
They try to get people going and take the money and try to dupe me, right? But then I guess the guy was like impressed with my drug dealing.
So after
handoff. He goes, yo, man, maybe we should get this guy to come work for us.
Jesus.
This guy's a good worker.
All right, we're running up on an hour here. I got to head out to the airport, so we're going to wrap it up. Quake, Dave, you guys are stand-up gentlemen. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
See what you did there, stand up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't even picture that, but there we go. That's a rapper for you. Are you coming back to Halifax anytime?
I'll be here in the summer filming.
Oh, with Jerry D.
Mr. D, yeah. So I'll probably do spots.
Aren't you doing
You
something?
never even went on to this. Yeah, I know. I didn't. Yeah, I know.
We'll get into that next time.
Yeah.
When you come back here this summer, let's do it again.
Yeah, I'll be back here for a while.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So to all the listeners, I appreciate the support. Make sure to go to all that social media, like, comment, subscribe, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram, iTunes,
MSN Messenger,
MySpace. All right. That's it. I love you guys. Thank you.